Hi, my name is Keith Cooper, and in this video I'm going to have a look at a comparison between two Epson ecotank printers. This one, the Epson ET-18100, which is a relatively new one which I'm currently doing a review of, and I will have a much more detailed review of it in due course. But quite a few people have asked me a specific question: should they get an ET-18100 or, and this is one I tested a while ago, the Epson ET-8550. They are similar, both ecotank printers, but there are distinct differences for them. And actually this is one of the easier comparisons I've ever had to make between two printers. And I'll give a quick run through of some of the features of each, and by that it should be fairly obvious which would suit you best. And I'm not going to say whether, one might suit you better than the other. It's not a definite. I can't say yes, this is better than that, or vice versa. So 8550, it's an all-in-one type printer. It's an ecotank printer, so that means it's supplied with ink bottles. Now there are 6 inks here, and there are 6 inks, same type bottles, go for filling up here. So on that aspect, they're both fairly similar. They're both A3 Plus 13 inch by 19 inch width printers. So they'll print at 13 inch by 19 inch, which is quite a good size for prints. Print obviously smaller paper as well. The differences between them, key differences are, with the 8550, the ink set you get 2 different blacks. You get a pigment black, you get a dye black, and then you get colours. You get a cyan, magenta, yellow, and a grey ink. With this printer here, they're all dye inks. You get black, cyan, magenta, yellow, light cyan, light magenta. It's the differences in the ink set which make a difference in what you might want to print on these types of printers. So the 8550 mixed ink set. Now that means it's actually great for quite a wide variety of papers. It will print on card, no trouble at all. It will print on art papers. If it has a weaker point, it's printing on brighter style photo papers. It will print on photo paper as well. So it's quite a wide range. It also has more card slots. It has a tray for loading plain paper in, so you can use it as an office printer as well. You can print CDs. You can print CDs, DVDs on this one. This one, by the way, also allows you to print ID cards. Never seen any cards like this to print on. If I can find some, I'll have a go at printing on it for the main review of this, but that's quite a specialised feature. For the old 8550 though, it's got a scanner in it as well. Now, the scanner I used, and have a look, and I'll put links in the notes to this, to the detailed review, and say there will be a detailed review of this, although I have published quite a few videos already. This was a watercolour artwork I scanned and was printed out onto a card. Great for making cards. You're somewhat limited by, if you want borderless ones, by using only particular sizes, but that goes for either printer. Borderless is supported, but only at set sizes. So that's printing on that. It prints with the black ink, with the pigment ink, with profiles. It prints very well on that. Scanner works well. You've got some of the all-in-one tricks you can do. You can print out, I used, when I had this one, I printed out a whole load of score paper for music, and great, it's got stuff like that. You can use it as a fax, you can use it as just as a photocopier if you want. That is much more a family printer. It also will do, with the right profiles or the right settings, depending on which process you're using, it will print black and white moderately well. So it's not a specialised black and white printer, but yes, it prints black and white fairly well. What about the 18100? A lot of those features aren't there. What do you get with this? Well, you don't get a screen. So this one has a tip-up screen on the front, which you can see here. That's useful, makes it easy to use. This one has no screen, just has some controls on the front. The 8550 has a motorised paper tray. Well, it's neat, but it's hardly essential. Paper paths. The only place you can put paper into this is this feed at the back. Now, this feed does take a nice good stack of photo papers, but the printer, this one, has So no Ethernet, so this one's connected wireless. Both have got USB, but if you wanted Ethernet, you'd go for one like that more if it mattered for something. So this will do DVDs, ID cards and that, but it's a die-only ink set. What does that actually mean? Well, it means that black and white is very hit and miss on this. It's, if you look at it and it looks black and white in one light, go to a room with different type of lighting in it and you may see a colour tinge. This is not made for black and white printing. In fact, if you look at the driver support for it, when you look at it, it doesn't have the ABW or black and white print mode that you find on that and many other Epson printers. It just says grayscale, and it'll have a go at doing grayscale. Now, some people may not notice the colour tints, but if you do notice it, you'll never unnotice it, and that's a problem with that, for black and white printing. More seriously is that this is quite limited in its paper types. If you want to print on an art paper, and this is a test print I did on this, and this is unusual in that it worked, there's only one media setting for art papers here. The rollers inside here tend to make slight dents in the paper, very visible on some sheets, on some larger sheets when I was testing it. So it's not really made for art papers at all. It will print on papers. This is a thin watercolour paper that I was able to test and get it to work on. But this really isn't a printer that's designed for use on matte papers much. It has just the one paper slot. There's a bent straight. The 8550 has a straight through print path from the back if you wanted, so you can print on board with it. So I've used it on poster board. So there are several different print paths there. They're much more flexible. That is much more a general purpose printer. So at this point you must be wondering, I've rattled off all the things that the 8550 is good for, and its smaller cousin, the 8500, which is the A4 version, smaller version, and the same ink set. So why would I want to use this? Well, it has one big thing for it. It prints superbly well on glossy photo papers and luster papers and metallic papers as well. This is a test print I did of it's a photograph of some orchid flowers, and the luminescence is probably very difficult to show on a video. If I move it about a bit, you'll see the shine on it. There is absolutely no gloss differential on this. There is no sign whatsoever of the ink sitting on the surface of the paper. Even though the 8550 has dye inks and will use the dye, just the dye inks when it's printing, they are slightly different and they do not give this smoothness. They're good, but they are not at this level. So that's on a glossy metallic paper. That's on Epson Premium Glossy, classic Epson glossy paper. Same was if you use any of the other glossy papers. Luster papers as well. Any of these RC style resin coated papers, photo papers, work excellently in this printer. So I said it was an easy comparison to make. If colour prints, colour photo prints on glossy luster, semi-gloss paper are what you're after, and you want impressive looking colour prints, they're both using dyes, so there's no great difference because of that. If that's what you want, then the 18100 is an easy choice. If you want black and white, I'm afraid not. Doable, but it's not that great. If you want art papers, perhaps not. If you want to print on card, definitely not with this one. This printer is designed to do a job, and it does that job very well. If you want it to do a different job, get yourself a different printer. I really like this printer because if I've got the right images, it can make, and I've got quite a variety of these on different papers, like there's metallic papers and things, and glossy papers. The images just have a solidity to them, and the colour is excellent. I mean, it's not got the gamut of a pigment ink printer, but if I printed this on a high-end pigment ink printer, where I'm seeing a smooth reflection of the lights and things here, I would see where the ink was on the paper. It's once again, it's one of those things when you see it, you can't unsee it. And it is so much better on this. Now, I'd love to see a larger size, a pro level dye-based printer that would probably take some more papers, because these dye inks will work on these matte papers for colour with profiles. But no, this is a photo printer. You want photo prints. It's not lightning quick, but you can stack stuff up here and out it comes here, and it will print very nicely. Much more a general purpose printer. If you want to print on a range of media, if you want things, if you want a printer that the family can use as well, the 8550 wins hands down. Glossy photo prints, this is the one for it. Anyway, I hope that's of help. As I say, I don't do comparisons that often, but this one is a really simple comparison to make. Yeah, do you want glossy photos? Go for this. Oh, so do you want glossy colour photos? Go for this one. Everything else, go for the other one. Oh, I hope that's of some help. Please do ask questions. As I haven't written up the full review of this one yet, so I will be doing that in due course, but I'm away quite a bit over the next few weeks, so that may be delayed somewhat. But I hope it's of interest, and thanks for watching.